Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's always very good to see you. Yesterday, we talked about soul and destiny. We talked about the relationship of our soul's choices with the events that come to us in our life. Today, we're going to go deeper and talk about soul contracts. Now, here's how this works. Before you come into this world, you make some choices about certain themes you will explore. Everybody has one major theme, usually which shows up by way of challenges. Doesn't sound like fun, but there's a purpose to it. And so if you look at your life and the lives of people around you, you'll see that everybody has some theme, some lesson that keeps getting their attention. It could be a chronic health difficulty, could be financial worries, it could be an addiction of some kind, it could be relationships. My main lesson has been about relationships. I've had so many that I get to be an expert on them. Basically because I was dealing with various illusions and I had to come to terms with them, and I was consistently looking for the one until I realized that I have to be the one myself. So that's been my theme. Everybody has your own theme, so you can think about what yours is. Now, this is a good thing because it means that you are courageously diving into the world of illusion, facing your illusions, bringing truth to them, dismantling them, healing them in your own consciousness, and then serving as a teacher for others who are facing the same issue. So it's not a bad thing at all. It's really a very courageous, empowering thing to do. Now, related to that, we all do create what we call soul contracts, which means that there's certain other people or beings or entities of various kinds that you agree with to come into this life, and they will have an intimate relationship with you of some kind and help your soul advance. So soul contracts are a very good thing. It means that you're partnering with someone or many people or an institution to help you learn and grow. I mean, that's if you go to college or any kind of school, anything that helps you advance and expand your awareness is a blessing. Now, some soul contracts are with people that are extremely joyful, and others are more challenging, and both serve. So take a moment now to think about the person in your life who loves and supports you the most, or who has done that. What person do you have a soul contract with that has been primarily empowering and expansive? The person you feel safest with, the person you can be yourself the most with, the person who believes in you and wants good for you and wants to help you wherever they can. That's definitely a soul contract. Whether that person's in your life now or they have been, doesn't matter. Their spirit is on your team, and they are a blessing to your life. And thank God for people like that. Even if you just have one or two or a few, that is a gift from God, and they have agreed to come in and love you. You know what? What greater gift can any soul give another? Now, on the other hand, we also have soul contracts with people who come in and challenge us. They give us a hard time. So think now of what person in your life has given you the hardest time. Perhaps it was a parent who was unhealthy or addicted or dysfunctional or absent or abusive. Perhaps it's a spouse that you're having a hard time with or have. Perhaps it's a child that you just don't know what to do with. Perhaps it's a government you hate. Perhaps it's a boss for many years. And so these people are also helping you because they're your best teachers. It doesn't feel like fun, but they are teaching you. So we learn through both directions, and you can't avoid either of them because you have contracts with them at such a deep level that you're going to grow no matter what. Many years ago, I was renting a room in a house owned by a friend of mine. And before that, I was living as a yogi out in the woods, and I was meditating and praying with a couple guys, and we just had it was a very reclusive, hermetic existence for like 7 years. And then I decided to move back into town, and my friend had this room, and I rented from her. And she was a single mother of 3 preteen and teenage boys in New Jersey. And boy, she was really loud, and the kids were always fighting. They were playing loud music, and they'd be wrestling and choking each other and calling each other names. I thought, what the hell am I doing here? What did I give up for this? And so I just kind of held my breath till the end of the school year, and I moved out, and I said, thank you very much. Well, the summer came and went, and I had to move back to the city for various reasons. And that was the only place I could get. At least that was the only place I ended up. So I ended up living with them for another year, and it was bad but better. And the same thing happened the third year. But by the end of the third year, I'd come to peace with her and her kids, and I would give the kids meditations, and they were growing up, and I loved her and her family. We were like family. And, I had graduated from that lesson. And then she came to me and said, I'm getting married. We need your room. So that was the end of that. But I had graduated. And so I had a soul contract with her and that family to challenge me so I could open my heart and relax and adjust to being with people and love and support her, even though her lifestyle was different than mine. And I still got letters and emails from those kids after they grew up many years later. So that was a form of a soul contract that was challenging, but I ended up graduating and working the lessons in my favor. So this is how people who challenge you really bless you. And there's a wonderful line in the Course in Miracles that says, the holiest spot on earth is where an ancient hatred has become a present love. How beautiful is that? The holiest spot on earth is where an ancient hatred has become a present love, which means that if you can take a difficult relationship or event and work with it and keep working it in your mind so you can expand your consciousness around it and have a loving, healing completion with it, boy, that is the work of a lifetime. Let's say you've had a bad relationship with a spouse for many years, and then you finally accept them and they accept you, or even if they don't accept you, you come to peace with them. Well, then, that's a healing. It's a healing of a lifetime. And don't tell me that you wasted your 20 years being married to them. You did not. I hear this from various clients. Oh, I got divorced. I wasted 20 of years. No, you didn't. You didn't. Don't tell me that. Because you love that person when you married them. There were good things about the relationship. You grew from the relationship. You chose to end it, which helped you build other muscles. Perhaps you have children together that are a blessing to your life. You learned and grew with that partner. So don't try to whitewash it and make believe it didn't happen. Yes, it was hard. Yes, there were lessons. But that person was a perfectly matched learning partner for you. If not, they wouldn't have shown up in your life. And so you can love them and bless them and thank them and appreciate them. You don't have to be married to them anymore. You don't have to sleep with them anymore. But you just have to come to a place of appreciation of them and of yourself for walking through those lessons. You were courageous to dive in. Part of you knew what you were getting into. You say, well, I didn't know what I was getting into. Yes, you did. There was part of you that on a soul level recognized that this person would be an excellent learning partner. And this is exactly how the Course in Miracles got started. There was 2 psychologists who were not getting along, Helen and Bill. And they were backbiting and fighting, and they had enmity and jealousy, and it was a bad scene. And Bill came to Helen one day and he said, this can't go on. He says, we have to find another way. And she said, yes, Bill, we do. And they did. And that was the beginning of the healing of their relationship. And a very short time later, the Course in Miracles began to come to Helen, spoken to her by the voice of God through Jesus. And Course scholars cite the moment where they decided to join as the pivotal moment, as the seminal moment, where they shifted from enmity to coming together, which created a whole new vibration in the relationship and opened her up to this fantastic healing material. So all stages of that relationship were perfect because it was a setup for them to have a big shift. The bigger they are, the harder they fall. The bigger the front, the bigger the back. The bigger the challenge, the bigger the healing when you can transform it. And that is the value of a challenging soul contract. So don't blow it off or wish you can get away from it. You have to, the way out is through. The way out is through. Now, we can also have soul contracts with institutions like religions or governments or corporations, because they often bug us. Sometimes they bless us, but they often bug us. And if you worked your way out of an oppressive religion, then you had a contract with the philosophy of that religion. So you can't blame them. You hired that religion to force you to dig in, or that company, or that government, to force you to dig in and ask yourself, what is really true about this? Who am I? You had to give your power away to them so you could take it back. And when you take back your power, you are so much stronger than if you'd never given your power away in the first place. It would be nice if we all came in holy and loving and enlightened, and Buddhas and Jesus and saints and Virgin Marys, and we just held our purity through our whole life. We had no illusions, and we had no discomforts, and we had no challenges. That would just be lovely, wouldn't it? But guess what? It's a very, very, very rare thing that happens. Maybe never. And so we enter into the world of illusion to practice facing illusions so we can dismantle them, heal them, find the truth that the illusions we're covering, and then we really own truth from the inside out. It's not just something we learned in school or heard about from a guru. We own truth from the inside out because we plumbed to the depths of our soul's consciousness. We unearthed it, and now we own it. It's yours. No one can ever take away from you the truth that you gained through facing an illusion and healing it. That's the value of a soul contract with somebody who challenges you. And let us also simultaneously bless and honor the people who love us. Those soul contracts are just as important because they give us the confidence and the faith and the belief to move through life, which can be very challenging. And they help us keep our head above water and hold our heart open and believe in ourselves. And God bless them. They're like lifesavers. I've had people who walk me through hard times that I just bless them forever. Now, since we're still talking about this coronavirus story and the economic turndown story, so, the entire planet has had a soul contract with coronavirus because it has forced nearly everyone on the planet to think about the value of life. What am I doing with my life? What happens when I spend time at home? Am I open to reinventing myself? Would I like to do a different kind of work? How do I heal with people I'm at home with who get on my nerves? Am I really subject to forces outside of myself that are bigger than me? Where does my physical and spiritual immunity live? The same thing with the economy. Does the economy really have power over me? Even though I read bad news on the internet or the newspaper, am I an abundant being anyway? What is the source of my supply? Is it my job? Is it my spouse? Is it the government? Or is it God Almighty? And we always come back to that wonderful Course in Miracles lesson 50. I am sustained by the love of God. And so at this very moment, you have entered into soul contracts in co-creation with God. It's an intelligent, wise, conscious choice. And in co-creation and partnership with the dear friends who have chosen to love you and challenge you. When the play is over, all of the characters, including the heroes and the villains, take off their costumes. They sit in the dressing room, they have a glass of wine, They congratulate each other on the part they played in the play, and they go home laughing because the play was well executed, as is your life and mine. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you tomorrow. Love you lots. And so it is.